Dozen Roses.
That's right.
And today we'll be staying at the Hyatt in Coconut Point in a cabana just for you.
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to talk about Sanibel and the drama they had over at Sanibel a little later. But first, our first guest, Jim Huff, is running for Congress. It's the 15th, 19th district.
Yes, Florida District 19.
Now, Jim, as you can see, wears a name tag for some reason. Now, why are you wearing a name tag, Jim?
No, that's a great question, Ed. First, thanks for having
Do
me.
not start that
Damn, I
already.
forgot the bell. I forgot
we
the
get
bell.
bells for that?
Jeez.
No,
We
but that's
get
important
bells for
because
that.
people ask me that all the time. But I say, well, do you recognize me by my face? No, clearly.
No, not at all.
And that's because I've never been in politics before. I am an engineer. I've been working just like every other working person in this district. You don't know them by name. So, yes, my close friends, my community knows me. But if I'm walking around Fort Myers Beach and you see me with my name tag, come ask me questions that are important to you.
Even though you have a name tag on, I don't think people know that you're running for Congress, do they?
That's a tough thing. I mean,
you need to add that on to there.
Jim Huff for Congress.
Yeah.
Come on, Jim.
I just
District
need
19.
a banner that follows me, actually.
Right.
And that's one of
we
the
have
tough
not
things.
had good luck with banners on the show, but go ahead.
That's one of the tough things with the grassroots campaign.
So just for anybody that doesn't know, Jim is running against Congressman Byron Donalds for the 19th Congressional District here in Florida. And you're running in the primary on August the 23rd. And then if you win the primary, if by some miracle you win the primary, no offense or anything,
not a
but
problem.
how much money has Byron raised so far? I know
last I checked, he was around $4.5 million, and I want to say at least $3 million was from out of state sources.
So $4.5 million is a lot of money. I'm sure you've raised maybe half. How much have you? How much have you raised?
No, my campaign's around 20,000 right now.
You're running, but you're lean campaign. I mean,
well, it's not about the money. It's about the votes. It's about the people. So how many doors has Byron knocked on? That's my question, because I'm sure it's less than the thousands that I have.
How many thousands have you knocked on?
So I'm kind of going based on the card count. I've got a whole bunch of business cards, and that's how I keep count. And I've already used 3,500 of them.
Nice.
I've got about another 1,000 that I plan to get through this week.
Oh, that you're giving out, not that you're collecting.
No, to each.
You're getting lots of birthday wishes, by the way, by all the people that are watching.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
Yeah, somebody said happy 29th birthday.
Well, they are right on.
Look, the audience is already throwing questions at you. Are you a Trump supporter?
Wait a minute. Can we do the speed round? Just like we do with everybody else? Can we do that?
I forgot the speed round questions, dear. I forgot the questions.
Well, I think we can get them from memory.
Oh, you know what? I forgot all the advertisers at home, too.
Wow.
I forgot the clipboard full of advertisers.
In the beginning, we do a speed round, which is some questions, like general questions, just for people to get to know you.
I think we can remember them. I'll start the buzzer.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. So what's your favorite ice cream?
Chocolate.
All right.
Cat or dog?
Dog.
Favorite color?
Blue.
What was your favorite TV show growing up?
Ooh, Friends.
Favorite movie?
Shawshank Redemption.
Most interesting person outside your family?
Elon Musk.
Interesting. If you were go in an RV around the country, no family members, who would you take?
My dog, Abby.
Interesting.
Who would you like to interview, dead or alive?
Definitely Einstein.
Einstein. Good one. If you won $1 million, what would you do with it?
Invest it.
In your campaign or somewhere else?
No, I'd invest it in something that's going to last me a lifetime.
What if you knew you were going to be consuming your last meal? What would it be, start to finish?
Ooh, I'm a huge fan of lobster mac and cheese.
Lobster mac and cheese. That's the first time I think we've heard that.
And what would you have to drink? I mean, either
just a Coke.
Yeah.
Just a nice ice
and
cold
dessert.
I'm not a big dessert person, but if I had to choose one, I'd probably go with just chocolate ice cream.
Your campaign is riding on that answer.
Yeah, I know. What dessert are you choosing?
Favorite deodorant? Because with 3 shirts on, you're going to need some today.
Oh, stop. That is not one of the questions.
No, the other question is most embarrassing moment.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, wow. There's so many. I don't know that I can pick one.
Well, pick one, damn it, so we can move on to the real questions.
All
Come
right,
on.
let's go with.
You know what happened to the school principal? Somebody pulled their pants down. So it's got to beat that.
I'd say
That's been two people.
my most embarrassing was in high school as well. You know, I had a crush on a girl and I wrote her name on the fog in the mirror in the shower, and then my parents saw it 5 minutes later, and I was so embarrassed.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think I want to ask any more questions about that incident. All right. So are you for clean water or dirty water?
Oh, that's a great question again.
Thank
Buzzer
you.
me.
2 bells for me.
So no, the clean water is a huge issue. And working for the Army Corps of Engineers, I've worked on these projects that are a stepping stone to get us to clean water. So yes, absolutely for clean water, but knowing what we've done and what we need to continue to do sets me apart from the others.
How does it set you apart?
Let me just ask.
Yes, go ahead, dear.
Let me just back
You're
up.
the water
you said
person.
you worked for the Army Corps of Engineers?
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
Almost
so when
14
was
years.
Is that currently now? Or
Good
So,
one,
no,
David.
there's
Good one.
an ethics rule that requires me to resign before I put my hat in the race here.
Got
So until April of this year, I was with the Army Corps of Engineers.
And so what is your solution to get us cleaner water or
So-
consistently cleaner water?
Yeah, what we need to continue the programs that are already in place. We've got reservoirs being constructed. We've got some injection wells north of the lake as well. But that's just the starting point. That's going to control a lot of the flow quantities.
So you're for the ASRs, the
ASRs will provide benefit. Absolutely.
What can you tell people what those are?
I have
I'm
no
sure
idea
that-
what an
he doesn't
ASR
know.
is.
Sure, ASR.
Got to dumb it down
aquifer
for our audience.
something
Oh, you don't know what it is
system.
either.
It again,
Interesting.
acronyms. We use so many of them
Yeah.
at work.
So-
No, really what it is we're going to take water, we're going to clean it up to drinking water quality, and then we're going to inject it down into the aquifer. And what that does is it limits the quantity of water coming into Lake Okeechobee. So when we have a hurricane or something over Orlando, we don't see our salinity change down here in Fort Myers. We don't see those nutrients, phosphates and nitrates, shooting down the Caloosahatchee.
And
So it acts as a reservoir for water. And I think the worry about that is, you're putting it into the aquifer.
you're boring
it's gotta
people.
be-
You're
all
boring
right, all
people with the
right, all
water.
right,
Nobody
all right,
wants
all
to know about aquifers for crying
I'm
out
just a
loud. This
little
is a
worried about
variety
that.
program.
All
They don't
right,
want to
all
learn about
right. A little
aquifers.
worried about mixing
So
that.
when you win the primary against Byron in
we
a
didn't
few
even finish
few
his
weeks.
answer to the water. So go ahead. What else would you do to
Uh-huh.
ensure clean water?
So on top of the programs we have now, we need to
Mhm.
do more along the Caloosahatchee. We can do some in-place treatment programs. With the $20 million that Byron passed up on in November of last year, we could have started another 10.
Wait.
trial
Back
programs.
up the train. What do you mean he passed up on
There
it?
was an infrastructure bill which allowed every representative to submit multiple projects for infrastructure where they could prove they have no ties to the program or the company being involved. And it would benefit your specific district. So with $20 million, think about the programs we could have gone through FGCU. Create a trial program, whether it's charcoal, aeration, or any others. Have it run for a year or two and have the university constantly monitor that. So then when we get that big bulk of money, a congressional appropriation, then we know what to scale up on that's going to be the best bang for our buck.
Is that a good answer there?
It sounds
Yeah.
like a good answer.
So I don't remember reading anything about Byron passing up 20 million though. So I guess we'll have to look into that. How come you didn't research that one? What's wrong with you?
How come you
So you want to go to Washington to what? To work with Democrats? You were talking about AOC before, like you wanted to work with her.
I mean, if AOC has a bill that's going to support our people down here in District 19, yes, I will work with her on that. If she has some policy that's going to put us further into debt or further increase the inflation, I'm not going to work with her on it. I will actually do my best to prove to the general public that it's not worth our time.
How do you think that the Republicans are going to win back the House?
I do believe the Republicans are going to win back the House.
Senate?
Senate's a little more dicey, but we'll see. I'm really fingers crossed hoping so.
Dr. Oz fan?
I loved his show. I'm not sure about his political campaign.
You didn't know he was running for office in Pennsylvania, did you?
I guess I did.
You didn't
but-
know that, dear.
No,
that
I
was
think you
that was
mentioned
no-
it to
I
me.
never mentioned it before. I just that's the first time I mentioned it.
Do you have an electric car?
I have an electric scooter.
You do. And do
Yes.
you ride it often?
That's how I go door to door knocking.
Wait, where'd you find that out?
Because I did my research. Oh.
Okay. All right. So are you for electric cars or for gas cars?
I'm for both. The electric car has its purpose and its place. If you live out in a rural community, chances are electric car is not for you.
An aquifer stores large quantities of water, the opposite of Ed's bladder.
Oh, there you go.
That was a good one, Steve. So what is it? Give us your top 3 priorities when you go to Washington.
Sure. First and foremost, term limits. We know that we've got people up there 2, 3, 4 decades.
Yeah.
They're not focused. They're not connected with their people. Term limits.
Of how many years?
12 years.
Okay.
12 years, because it's going to be Senate
Two
and the House.
Two Senate.
2 with the Senate. On top of that, I'd like to combine the House terms to 4 years. So we have 3 sets of 4 in the House to make your 12 years. And what does that do? Well, first year you're there, you're learning.
Yeah.
Second year you're there, you're
running
campaigning.
again. Yeah.
So then let's say you do get reelected. All right, third year you're there, you're doing good legislation. Fourth year you're there, you're running again. So out of 4 years, you've only got 1 year of a good legislator.
I always thought 2 years was kind of short, but 3 years was
short.
perfect here on the beach. They changed it to 4 years. I always thought that if the House of Representatives could run for 2 years every 2 years, why does the beach need to have 4 years? So they went from 3 to 4 years. I don't think you really care about what happens on the beach, right?
No.
I mean, you're a much bigger picture kind of guy, right?
I mean, I have to be. Unfortunately, I do care about what happens right here in our community, but I will direct people to the right level of government to deal with that.
Got you.
I noticed on your website, it talks about supporting veterans. So what would you do in
Good
that?
question.
Thank you.
He doesn't like what Byron's doing for veterans. He criticized it before.
Yeah,
right?
I would like to hear what he is
Let's-
doing for veterans.
All right.
Go ahead.
Well, he's not
Quick.
here to answer it. So tell me what you would do.
Sure. So the biggest thing that I think a representative needs to do for veterans is represent them. There is a huge disconnect in a lot of the government bureaucracy between a veteran and getting his benefits
You
or
mean-
any other.
Did you say bureaucracy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
in getting them to what they need. And that's part of the representative's job with his people here in their own offices, receiving complaints, receiving requests from veterans and making sure they get to the right department. And on top of that, my father is a Vietnam veteran. So I see the struggles with the VA system. He had a shoulder issue. They said, well, we can't take you for like 8 weeks, but we're gonna send you out to outsourced doctor. And that's the new program that Trump instated is, okay, if we can't see you, we're going to get you to someone that can. Well, my father used his own insurance to go through an orthopedic, and 2 days after he had surgery, his private insurance.
Right.
2 days after his surgery, the VA called and said, hey, we set up an appointment for you. It's 4 weeks from now.
Wow.
That's unacceptable.
It is. It is.
So is the answer to that more funding to get more people to be able to, what is the answer to that?
So partially funding, because you're going to need more people to make it more efficient. But the big thing is efficiency with the people that are there, the processes. We need to ensure that we're not taking a medical problem and kicking it down the road 6 months.
Jim, you're wearing long.
Can I just ask one more question?
He's wearing like a suit with socks. You have socks on?
Of course.
Shoes and 3 shirts, and you're not sweating. What is going on there? Like, how are you not?
Do you have
I'm
like an air
sweating
conditioner
looking
under there?
at you.
Cool,
It's-
calm, and collected.
Yeah. All right. Good one. Yeah.
Let me just ask, in terms of veterans, not only, orthopedic issues, but we hear a lot about mental health issues. You hear that statistic about the suicide rate is very,
very high.
It's very high. What could be done for that in terms of providing more services? Is it a money thing, or what is the problem?
In my opinion, that's partially a publicity thing. Are we getting the program's information to the people that need it? I know there's been some expos through FGCU right here in the community that, you get a business card. If you're in a crisis, call this number. That's huge, but not everyone knows about that, especially those that are kind of in denial, fresh out the service, or even years later where they came out of the service and they were fine, but now their situation changed, or the community around them, that situation's changed a little bit, and it triggers something in memory, and now they're finding themselves in a bad situation. So if we have that information out there readily available, I think we'll get more treatment options available. But furthering that even, I would love to see some legislation that talks about mental health without trying to take our guns away at the same time.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I get distracted by sometimes these people that watch
And
the
so-
show have their own conversations, and I need to correct something. Al thinks I still think Trump won. Do you still think Trump won?
I do not think
All right,
Trump
I don't
won.
think Trump won. I don't think Al's a real person, dear. I think that's a fake person right there. So
Let me speak about that real quick as well. I don't believe Trump won, but I do believe that we can improve voter integrity. Here in Florida, we kind of take it for granted. We're like the gold standard, but there are other states still that their system can be compromised.
Right.
So we need to continually improve the integrity so we don't have these issues in the future.
Right. Do you think the FBI should be disbanded?
I don't think the FBI should be disbanded. I do think that we need to, again, look at all the agencies. How many are policing us? The marshals, the FBI, the CIA, the NSA. Are they all overlapping? Are they communicating? Yeah, they are. So we got to make sure it's working.
Do you think they should have raided his house?
I can't speak to that because I'm not
privy
privy to the investigation.
You have an opinion.
If they have enough evidence where someone signed a warrant, that is our system. That is what allows us to go through legally with the Fourth Amendment, protecting your rights, and search your house.
They didn't search Hillary, though. Do you think that was wrong?
They did seize her servers, actually, at one point.
But not the same way with 80 agents or 40 agents. I know. So 87,000 new IRS agents. It's like we all get assigned our own IRS agent. That's pretty cool, right?
That should make it more efficient, right? You don't even have to do your own taxes.
Because they're only going to go after big business, right?
Yeah, no, that's the claim, but we'll see. Right now, the way I look at it, Macy's across the nation has 90,000 employees. That's a pretty big department store. How are we going to hire 87,000 people when we cannot hire people today? I know with the Army Corps of Engineers, when I left, we were over 100 positions short of what we needed. So again, if we're going to pay them peanuts, are we getting quality? So maybe we need 87,000 when really we only need 40,000 good agents or good accountants. That's kind of a problem with our government right now. We need to do efficiency. We need to hold qualifications and the bar high and then compensate them fairly.
So what is your background?
My background is in engineering. I went to FGCU here when I was 30 years old to complete my engineering degree, graduated with civil engineering degree, and then went back to work with the Army Corps of Engineers. Prior to that, I spent 9 years with the Army Corps of Engineers in Baltimore District, traveling up and down the East Coast, drilling holes around Lake Okeechobee, hundreds of those to help with our clean water issues, to analyze what's going on with the lake. But also military installations, a lot of reclamation projects where we've contaminated them, and also barracks. If we need to expand a barracks or any other building on the NSA property, et cetera, we need to do a foundation study. So even before I was an engineer, I was working with my hands on the groundwork that provides for the engineers to make decisions.
What do you think about the new LOSUM that's going to be rolling out here?
The new LOSUM is going to be great. And here's why. I know this. I've worked with the people working on it. We have completed so many projects that kind of take a leaky bathtub and make it prime. You know, it's got a fresh coat of paint. We're going to be able to control the water so much more efficiently with a higher swing. So that way, again, with that and the reservoirs and all the other projects, we are going to start seeing differences, but not the complete solution yet.
Do you think the Everglades, can we get them some more water?
Yeah, we are. We absolutely are. In Naples right here, Picayune Strand, I've worked on that project myself. I designed one of the levees there. We're already to this day pumping water across them. Nice 1 foot, we call it sheet flow, across what used to be development that failed.
Just one more question. So last week I was here and somebody in the audience called me over. They're from out of town, and they're still talking about the 2018, you know, the red tide and the blue-green algae thing, and how that's a concern for people. I mean, obviously here, but for vacationers and for tourism. What do you think the likelihood is of that kind of tsunami of algae happening again?
Oh, it is very likely. We've been so fortunate since then. We haven't had those hurricanes coming through, pushing a large volume of water. And again, that's what a lot of these projects help mitigate. But if we get 2 or 3 hurricanes back to back, and not direct hits, I'm talking across the state, like I said, as high as Orlando, it's going to push that water out, the nutrients out. It's going to change the salinity. We need to work local. We know that we've got algae already in canals and Cape Coral. We need to treat that so when the nutrients come down, it does not bloom. So again, it's a whole level of mitigation efforts that need to be completed to get us to that solution.
So do you think it's more treatment of the water or mitigation of the nutrients?
Oh, it's a combination of both for sure. We also have septic tanks that are leaking along the Caloosahatchee. We need to backtrack the sources. We can do that by checking the water in different locations, and we need to get things under control. Little baby steps across the board are what make the full picture.
Jim, where can people find your website and get in touch with you and donate? I know you got 20G already, or K. Is it 20G or K? Or is that the same thing? So what are you going to do with your 20?
Don't listen to him.
What are you going to do with your
math.
20G? You're going to buy signs at the week leading up to the election?
Signs were already purchased.
I see.
We've got about 2,500 left, so we're going to do a text campaign. super efficient, get out to the people that generally don't get out or cannot travel past my signs or get to some of these events. So we're going to be doing a huge text campaign. I'm sorry if you hate random texts, but we need to let people know they have options this year. And also my website, jimhuff4congress.com. You can find all my information, my Facebook. I respond real time to comments and questions because I'm an open book. If you ask me about an issue, I'll give you my opinion. But more importantly, I will do my best to research the opinion of the majority in this district, because that's what the representative's job is to do, not to dictate what goes on in this district, but to represent them.
And so I just want to ask, as far as your history in politics,
There is no history. That is an excellent question. And people have asked me.
An excellent question.
Well, people over and over again, why don't you start small? Well, I've never been in politics before because I despise what politicians do. And if I start small, by the time I get what they consider experience up to the federal level, which I already know by working for the federal government for 14 years, how many people am I going to owe? How many people expect a favor because they've given me some money? I'm supported by no PACs at this point. I'm supported by people in our community that really have faith that we need someone in Congress that is from the working class with a good head on their shoulders that's going to represent the people and also keep our values strong.
Michelle had a question about immigration. Wall, no wall? You okay with them Texas shipping folks to New York and wherever else he was sending them?
Texas shipping people to different states and cities has been effective on getting it out there and allowing people to see how bad it is. The wall needs to be completed. We need to control what's going on. We have immigration laws that allow people to come here, but just allowing thousands and hundreds of thousands a month to cross our border and give them a cell phone and say, yeah, we're going to call you when your court case comes up. It's not realistic. But furthermore, we lost millions and probably billions of dollars when we stopped building the wall on Byron's first day, because all those contracts that were started were paid out. You can't tell a contractor, oh, you're done working, we're not going to pay you anymore.
So he went down there and told him to stop building the wall? That was a cheap shot you took at him, because I know he's been to the border a few times. He's certainly
I'm sorry. Did I say Byron? I meant Biden.
Oh.
Biden's the one that said stop building
the
walls.
Byron?
No, you did. But I even was like, I knew he was going to go in on that. So
yes,
just to be clear,
canceled the wall, cost us
sure.
billions, and now these come around and say, okay, well, we do need to finish the wall, so we're paying for it twice. That's unacceptable. We need to be reasonable and not emotional with our decisions. But furthermore, I have friends personally that live on the border of Canada and New Hampshire, and they said to me, we have never seen it this bad, people coming across my property. So it's not just the southern border. We have now invited everyone across the world to come in because they know we're going to give you some food, we're going to give you a cell phone, and we're not going to track you down.
Jim, let everybody know once more time how they can reach you, and thank you so much for coming. And I still can't believe you're not sweating. You got it's so hot out here, and you guys go ahead and let everybody know.
Huff, I mean, I think that speaks a lot there.
He's calm, cool, and collected for sure.
Well, the important thing is to know Jim Huff is my name. You will see me on your ballot if you're a Republican. There will be two people in the primary, myself and Byron Donalds. I hope that you're going to check the box for Jim Huff because he's one of you. My website, www.jimhuff4congress.com. You can type the word 4 or you can use the number 4. Both will get you there. I want you to learn about me, and I want you to choose who's going to represent you best, because we cannot relive the last 2 years.
All right, Jim Huff, thank you so much for coming by, and good luck to you in the race for Congress. And I know you're off to another event and all that, so thank you for coming.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, everybody, Jim Huff for Congress. And before we get to Angela, I want to tell you about Royal Scoop. Royal Scoop FMB is the official ice cream of Beach Talk Radio. What's your next flavor? Whether it's the espresso chip, the cookie monster, the Bohemian Rhapsody, watermelon sorbet, or one of the 52 flavors available for you to sample, make sure you come on down to Royal Scoop FMB. They're right down the street here. They're about maybe 3/4 of a mile on the left-hand side, right next to Tuckaway Cafe. So you can go to Tuckaway Cafe, you can have a nice meal, you can have a craft beer, and then you can go have ice cream at the Royal Scoop.